Well, I'm joined by the chair of the Commons Defence Select Committee, MP Tobias Ellwood. Now, he's speaking to us in a personal capacity. Tobias, thank you so much for talking to us about this. What do you make of the calls for British troops needing to be ready to fight in Europe?
The fundamental question is, if we don't do it, who will? And what we're seeing take place in Ukraine, and I'm pleased our Prime Minister went there himself, is that Russia has now regrouped. It's learned its lessons from its initial invasion errors. It's now consolidating its ownership of a fifth of the country. And we've done enough to make sure that Ukraine doesn't lose, but not enough to make sure that they can win. And the consequences of this is, where may Russia go next? And that is the question that General Patrick Saunders, that you referred to, is asking, because NATO has certainly shored up our own support, but we've sat on our hands as a formidable military alliance. We have watched this fire develop in Ukraine, but we haven't put it out. And if we won't put it out, where might it spread to next? And that is the fundamental question, because this isn't just about Ukraine. If you ask yourselves why the price of food is going up in this country, it's directly linked to Ukraine. If you ask yourself why oil and gas, energy prices are going up in this country, it's directly linked to Ukraine. And had all the countries in NATO done as much as Britain has done to support our Ukrainian friends, we would have flushed Russia out of mainland Ukraine by now. But that hasn't happened. And now we face, I'm afraid, an existential threat to European security. We are experiencing a change an era change, if you like, in security over the next 10 to 15 years.
But some people would say that, the fact that we're sending our troops, surely if Europe wanted to fight this war, those Germany and other countries could, and it's not easy, but could cut off the supply of income, and that would be removing their dependency on Russian oil and gas. And that would probably be far more powerful than sending troops over to Europe.
Yes, it's got to be a combined effort. Sanctions can have their impact, but as you imply, if there are countries that are still buying that oil and gas, it would have less of an effect. And don't forget that Russia is now pivoting towards China, selling its goods and services to China as well. That's because they've not joined in these sanctions, and indeed to other countries that have sat on the fence as well, South Africa, India, Brazil, and so forth. So until these other countries all join in and recognize that this is against Putin and the regime, the Kremlin, and not the Russian people, then there's every prospect that Putin could survive this. And if he does survive, where does he go next? That's the big question. Chances are he'll probably try take advantage of perhaps the West's hesitance, our risk averseness to push forward into the Slavic area of Eastern Europe. And that's exactly why General Saunders was saying we need to look at potentially going back into Europe to provide that security support.